Welcome back to Enlightened Trading. I'm your host Conrad, and today we have another look at the crypto market. So we have a different viewpoint from today than yesterday. We're going to talk about some data science and why I think, well, maybe in the short term we might dip lower in the price of Bitcoin and altcoins. I do think that long term and mid-term prices will rise. So yeah. Of course, go down in the comments, say I subscribed. I'm going to personally reply to your comment, leave a like on the video, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so looking here at the price of Bitcoin, we are on the 4-hour chart. And as you can see, we are still moving sideways after our pretty strong drop. And I do not like this consolidation we are currently forming. As you can see, we do have lower highs here in the price of Bitcoin coming in from 10,650 to 10,450, and we're now again forming something like a lower high. It still has to be confirmed. I would look out for another rejection at the level of 10,350. I still think there's major resistance coming up right there. So I see a rejection currently more likely than not, and since this looks like a descending triangle and as well it does have its horizontal support line on the bottom, which means this is a very clear level of the line of least resistance, in my opinion at least. I still think this is very important, and of course go ahead and check out my video I did on the line of least resistance. I do have it in my educational series. Explained it's called, right? And yeah, so as I said, we do have this very clear line, and I think it's still likely to break to the downside, even though we had already this pretty dramatic drop. This looks like a bear flag in my opinion, and yeah, I don't think this is very bullish for the price of Bitcoin. In my opinion, we can still drop lower. I do not think that we can extend this pole similar to what we had right here. This would bring us all the way down to 8,500. I don't see this yet. I still think this has to be confirmed. Maybe if prices move longer term or I mean more mid-term, of course. But looking at the 4-hour chart, if we get all the way a consolidation into later this week, on Sunday approximately, then I do think we can drop another like 10%, maybe even 15% to the downside, going into the range of 8,000. This is of course possible, and it's also possible because we're going to take a look later in this video on some data science, so you stick around to the end of that. Okay, so as I said, still looking for low prices in Bitcoin. Of course, if we get a bounce to the upside, I still think 11,000 will act as significant resistance, since it did so in the past. I do think we won't go much higher than 11,000 in the near-term future at least. So yeah, I think that's it for the price of Bitcoin. Of course, I do see also still some significant support in the $9,000 range. Taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance, I also talked about this in my latest video, shortly at least. So yeah, this is the reason why I do think Bitcoin will rise comparative to altcoins in the near-term future, and most likely actually in the mid-term future as well. I do think that we will most likely get a retrace or a comeback down to $66 approximately, meaning that we are going to move higher all the way to the end of this channel here. And I do think it's actually pretty likely to break on its fourth touch, especially if we get a consolidation and then finally break out later this year. I do think this is likely if, of course, Bitcoin first drops lower or slower than altcoins and rises faster than altcoins. yeah, if we get a break of 65.50 approximately, then I do think 68% and again 70% are coming. Yeah, we can quickly take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum a bit more bullish than Bitcoin, but we are also not forming an ascending triangle, which I thought could be likely. We are now in a pennant, which is a continuation pattern, meaning that the prior trend established will send prices in the same direction as the prior trend was, meaning that we will most likely get at least a retrace to 2880 or to 288 I meant to say, on Ethereum. Well, similar to Bitcoin, I still think this has to be confirmed here as well. But I do see it actually pretty likely that this is not a bullish continuation, and we will get a bearish continuation to the downside once again in Ethereum as well. Okay, so this is now the thing I want to talk about, which is this. Of course, I talked about it already many times. It's called Look into Bitcoin. It's some data science done on the price of Bitcoin. And for example, if we look at a stock to flow model, then we are still very nicely in the trend in which we are most likely to go. As you can see, we are now forming this reddish area, similar to what we did in 2016 prior to the pretty nice bull run to the upside. And later we of course also went then above this average, but similar to what we had in 2015 and 2017. As you can see, we were below this this brown line here, which is the average, and yeah, we actually were below, even in the most time of the bull market, and later as we went parabolic, Bitcoin actually moved above it. So I do think this is actually pretty likely to repeat, that we move below this average, which is currently sitting at, well, if I take a, it's actually already at $15,000 on here on this day. So very nice to see that, and yet, as I said, this is pretty likely to actually remain below this brownish average line all the way in this bull run later until most likely mid 2021, which we then could see all the way a nice bull run to over $10,000, over $100,000. Okay, so, and this is also the golden ratio multiplier. You can of course go down here and read more details on it, but as you can see, these are just some moving averages, and this downwards orange line, yellow line did play a pretty important role in the past in this bull run. As you can see, we all the time actually Bitcoin stayed above it, never touched it, and this is not a critical support in my opinion. This line currently sits at $8,767. Will we get a retrace? Well, as I said prior in this video, this line would bring us all the way down to this target if we really get another bullish another bearish breakdown. But I don't see it too likely currently in the price. So yeah, this could of course happen. We can again retest it, but as you can see, all the way in this bull run, we never retested it until we got actually the bear market and then broke below it. So I don't think 8,800 is coming, and I still think we will get a bounce. Well, either right now in the $10,000 range, or in the $9,000 range. Okay, so that's it actually. That's all I really wanted to say. Go ahead, follow me here on my TradingView account here at EnlightenedTrading. I do post on a regular basis. Of course, like the video down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really does help me out, and of course I appreciate it. as well. But actually, if you go to my Instagram, and go ahead and follow me also over here, posting some memes and some good content. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys and girls, you people, back next time. Bye.